Alright, y'all. Here we got I just bought this '05 Escalade. You know what I'm saying? Bought it for a good price. You know what I'm saying? Had a few little cosmetic stuff that need to be done to it. The running boards was messed up. I took them off. You know what I'm saying? Needed a mirror, shit like that. But what I'm doing is putting a Pioneer double din in it. And a lot of times when people go to put radios in these cars, they tell them, oh yeah, you need that expensive GMOS harness to retain the OnStar and all that shit. I mean, you can do it that way, but me personally, I'd rather rewire it. Now, in some of the other trucks, like the Suburbans, the Tahoes, from like a '02 to a '06, it's easier to rewire those and you don't need a GMOS harness. Once you unplug the radio, if you look back here, it's another harness down there behind this plastic. If you pop that off and unplug that and plug the actual Metra 2003 harness into the harness that's back here, that's all you need to do to bypass the Tahoes and the Suburbans. But in the Escalades and the Yukon Denalis that have the Bose, you have to do an actual rewire if you don't want to do the GMOS harness. So basically what you have to do, take all of this stuff up, and the factory amp and factory subwoofer is located under this middle console. So got to take all this stuff up, radio out of course. Your factory amp is located here. All right, and this is the harness to the factory amp, and it's your typical GM colors. And always remember, when you're doing a rewire, 90% of the time, if you have braided wires, see these are braided, I kind of took them apart, but those are your speaker wires. And what you can do is, a lot of times they got your diagrams online, but if not, what I do is I had a smaller drill battery. And what you do is the positive and the negative on the drill battery. Don't use a real powerful drill. I don't recommend over anything over a 12 volt drill, because it might pop the actual speaker when you do it. But if you take the positive or negative on the speaker lead and put it to the positive and negative on the battery from the drill, it'll pop. The speaker will pop, make a popping sound, so you'll know exactly which speaker it is. But basically, all your speaker wires are down here in this harness. It may be subwoofer and tweeter wires may be in this harness here, but I'll figure that out soon. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to run, excuse me y'all, we're going to run the wires. So I pulled all the wires from the 2003 harness, because this is pretty much all you need on a Metra 2003, because you're not using the speaker wires on this harness. But you're going to take your speaker wires, you're going to hook your remote. Well, I always hook this remote turn on up. I mean, I don't know if it does anything, but I always been doing it for years. Never really, messed up anything. I don't know if I'm gaining from it or not, but I use that, hook the remote turn on to this blue wire here, my ground, my 12 volts constant. And of course, on the GM cars, you have to run accessory. So you can run this to your ignition. I typically run it to the ignition fuse. Wrap it around a fuse. I mean, that's a quick way to do it versus going all the way under the column and doing all that. But basically what we're gonna do, long as you got all your power and stuff hooked up to this Metra 2003 harness, you're gonna run speaker wires from the speaker wires that's going from the radio, because your radio is going to be powering your door speakers and stuff now, since you're bypassing the amp. The factory amp, powers all of your speakers in the truck. So you're going to run speaker wires from the back of this deck, well, this harness here, from up here down here to your speaker wires. And I mean, once I get everything done, I'll make another video, part 2, show you how I got everything cleaned up. Everything be ran nice and clean. I'm gonna tape everything off. I'm not one of those guys. I try to do clean work as much as possible and show you what this thing look like. But that's basically all you got to do. Like I said, you don't need the GMOS harness. A lot of shops recommend it. It's the easy way out from doing the rewire. Like I said, I did a GMOS harness in my boy's 05 Escalade, and I did not like the way it sounded. It sounded terrible, because basically you're amplifying an amplifier, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So when you bypass it, you just run it straight off deck power. Your speakers and stuff like that run off your deck power, and it makes it easier if you're going to add a 4-channel amp and change your speakers out later, because you have the wires already ran. So basically all you can do is just run wires from your 4-channel amp to the wires here that you already have already laid out for you. So once I get everything done and cleaned up, I'm gonna show y'all how everything looks, how it sounds, and so about an hour or so I'll be done. It's a 2005 Cadillac Escalade amplifier bypass rewire.